Well, hello and welcome to the show. I am your host, Michael Blanc, and this is the Apartment Building Investing Podcast, all about financial with real estate investing, but maybe not in the way that you think, which might be single family house investing. In fact, 99% of people who quit their jobs in real estate do it quietly with apartment buildings. That's what we're all about here. One of the keys to getting started in apartment buildings, of course, is your ability to raise money. But with everything, the more scale you can have, the better it is. So the question is, how do you scale your capital raising business, your syndication business? And this is a hot topic right now because it's really all the answer to that question is, well, you got to build a platform. Well, what does that mean? And in what order do you kind of build this platform? What does it entail? So in this month of April, we're really focusing on bringing people on board who are platform builders, who have built platforms either to raise capital or do other things. So, for example, we had Pat Flynn on last week. He's the ultimate platform builder. On today's show, we have a syndication platform builder. Her name is Monick Halm, and we've known her for a while. She's raised tens of millions of dollars. But how? How did she do that? Well, the answer is a platform. And how did she do that? How did she go about doing that? What are some of the challenges she had to overcome? And that's what we're going to talk about on the show today. So with that, let's do this. So I'll let you know, Dealmaker Live is on. Still July 16 to 18 before, but it won't be in Dallas. No, it will be virtual, right? We're going virtual because we can and because it makes the most sense in the time we're in right now. So we are going virtual. The tickets are still at dealmakerliveevent.com. Some of the details are going to be a little bit different. Obviously, a lot of the logistics are going to be different. Ticket prices are going to be different, and things are the way they're going to work going to be different. But the way you get tickets is still going to be dealmakerliveevent.com. And I would say grab them now because they're going to be more affordable now, and they're going to get a little more and more as we get closer to reward the people who are action takers. So go over to dealmakerliveevent.com and grab yourself a ticket. We're going to cover apartment building from A to Z. And you're going to hear from people you've never heard of before to people you certainly have, such as Robert Helms, the real estate guys, Brandon Turner, Breaker Pockets, and Joe Fairless are all some of our amazing speakers and presenters and panelists at Dealmaker Live event. So make sure you do not miss that event. Just like what we're going to talk about here with Monick on this particular episode is how she got started, how she was able to scale your business, how she was able to build a platform. And I think you're going to find it super, super inspiring. So let's get right in the show here with Monick Halm. Monick, welcome to the show today.
Thanks for having me, Michael. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, this is great. Been working on this for a while. It's really awesome to have you here. Give us a little bit of introduction to yourself. You've done a bunch of stuff. Just what have you done, Monick?
What have we done? So we have done quite a bit of syndications and since 2016 is when we started to syndicate. So we have done, I think, over 2,000 doors, buying and selling. Currently, we have a little over 1,300 and have raised money for apartments, mobile home parks, RV park, some ground up development, industrial. So, but mostly multifamily.
Yeah, well, you also have a little bit of a platform. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I founded Real Estate Investor Goddesses, which is for women, showing women how to invest in real estate. And my mission is to help 1 million women create financial freedom through real estate investing. And yeah, so we have thousands of women that have joined us so far. Millions, a little way off, but I'm working towards it.
Well, that is fantastic. So you also have several books out, and you have. Do you have a podcast as well? And yeah,
I
you're
do.
really trying to make a difference in that, which is great. We need more women like you doing what you're doing, Monick.
Thank you. Yes, we do. So, ladies, come join us. Come into the game. It's great here. Real
Yeah,
estate investing, I think, is so awesome for women, especially because we have, especially like the passive investing that you offer, that we offer these syndication opportunities. A lot of like really busy mamas just need to have their money working for them, creating these alternative passive income streams to help offset that mommy tax, the pink tax, the wage gap, the wealth gap. So this is something that more and more women need to be involved in.
Yeah. Well, why are there not more women involved, and why are you involved?
So I'll take the first question first. So why aren't more women involved? I think for the same reason that I didn't get involved sooner. A lot of women don't even know this is a possibility for them. You know, I growing up, I'm a first generation American. My parents are from Haiti. Really wonderful parents. They always told me you can be anything you want, but in parentheses, as long as you're a doctor, lawyer, professor, or engineer, because like that's all they knew, and that was success for them. So I didn't like maths and sciences. So I became a lawyer, and I knew nothing about real estate. All I'd ever been taught was to buy my own house. And then it's through a series of crazy accidents that led me to become a real estate investor. But I think that's why a lot of women aren't in it, just like me. Just nobody tells us about it, and we don't know it's a possibility. And then after that, some people know it's a possibility, but then they have no idea what steps to take. So they don't know how to get into it. And that keeps them from getting started. And then the last thing is they may know it's possible, may know what steps to take, but they're afraid. So they're afraid that they're going to get cheated and they're going to lose money. And so that keeps them on the sideline. So it's partly, I think, getting more women in is letting them know that this is possible for them, letting them know what steps they need to take, and then letting them know how to mitigate those risks so that they can do it and and do well.
Well, this is great. Let's talk about it. I don't know if that's specifically a female or male problem, right? Because the thing you described really affects every person on Earth, right? Like,
That's
oh,
probably true. Yeah,
I didn't know about it. Oh, and if I do know, but I don't know if I
what to
can
do?
what to do. And then if I do know what to do, I'm not sure I can actually do it.
Yeah, or I'm scared I'm going to do it and then just get cheated. So a lot of people. Yeah, you're right. It is. It's probably not unique to
Well, what
females.
are some of those?
Those challenges.
What are some of the things that will hold people back, and what can you advise people on how to overcome those?
Yeah, I think so first, I think for the people who are listening to your podcast and and other ones like this, going and learning. So hopefully, we're preaching to the choir here. That whoever's listening already gets that real estate is an option and is a wonderful opportunity. I think um, for to getting the word out there is just letting people know, like spreading it out, telling your friends and family, like letting people know this is possible, and then becoming a success yourself, because that's probably the best way to do it. As you become successful, people go, hey, what are you doing? Tell me a little bit more about that, right? And then with regards to steps to take to getting education, so you provide education, I provide education, like really learning. I just heard this quote. It's like the best, and then for people who are afraid, like the best mistakes I like to learn from are the ones that aren't mine. Basically, it's like learn from other people's mistakes. When you learn from people like us, like we've made a lot of our own mistakes, and we're able to help shortcut that for other people, and so they can collapse timelines and get into the game faster, and hopefully with fewer mistakes and than we did.
Yeah, so you can get education, and that takes care of point number two, and then the most people will stop at that point. They don't actually
So
go on.
yeah, I think there's two things that make a big difference for the people that actually take that people that take action and those who don't. So one of the things that I think why what I do is important, a lot of times people will, so I'm speaking for women, they'll go to a lot of events. They're not seeing people that look like them on stage. They're not seeing people that look like them as success stories. They're not seeing that there are women out there that can do this. And a lot of people will go, okay, well, he can do it, but I'm not sure I can do it. Right? Like, so it's easy for him, but I have three kids, or whatever it is. So it's helpful to see examples of people that like have your similar situation that are succeeding. So that's why my podcast, Real Estate Investor Guys, is I highlight women's stories. So women that are successful in real estate, and so they're grandmas and they're young women and they're all different, like they're single moms and they're people that were working minimum wage and all in between that have managed to get in and be successful. So I think hearing stories like that allows people to go, okay, well, maybe if she did it, and I could do it too. So I think that's one of the things that helps. And another thing is, really getting that mindset piece of it, so that a lot of people have these beliefs in their head about what it means to be. I'll give one big example that keeps people from being successful and building wealth is they have these thoughts in their head about what wealth means, what money means, and that like wealthy or rich people are greedy or they're selfish or they're somehow they're bad, and ultimately they'd rather be good people than be rich, because for them that's a dichotomy. And if you have beliefs in your head that like money doesn't grow trees, or the wealthy or whatever, anything that's like that's them and not me, then you're going to do things, you're not going to take actions that will ultimately lead to that outcome. So partly it's figuring out if you have these limiting beliefs and really getting your mindset on track so that you will take actions that will create the outcomes you want.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think having role models is very important. I mean, even regardless of whether you're male or female, you will always resonate with someone, or you may not resonate with someone, right? So if someone is a dentist and they, got into real estate, well, I'm not a dentist, so I'm not going to resonate with that person. That person, I can never replicate that path because I'm not a dentist. My path was different, and so having sufficient role models is really important. And you're right. In the female world, there's not many role models, right? And so one could be an
Yeah.
executive, one could be stay-at-home mom, and there's like two data points, and if you're not one of them, you're like, well, obviously there's a reason why, women aren't in this space, because it can't be done, which of course is horse manure. But you're right, we need to have more female role models, and I think that's slowly starting to change. And why did you decide to kind of build a platform? Because let's talk about that. And I think you're going to say there's probably multiple reasons why you decided to do it, but why did you decide to do build a platform?
You're right. There are multiple reasons. So, the idea came to me, it was after I'd gone to the real estate guys, Robert Helms and Russell Gray's Secrets of Successful Syndication. It was my first real estate event. And I remember it was in January in Phoenix, and it was Friday and Saturday. And Sunday morning, I'm in the hotel at the gym, I'm on the elliptical, and I'm playing back in my head what I'd learned over the weekend. And one of the things they'd said is if you're going to become a syndicator, you want to build your network, build your brand, build your network. Who do you want to work with? Build a brand, build your network. Who do you want to work with? And I'm sitting there on the elliptical, and then it came to me that, first of all, I was thinking about the weekend. I went, oh my gosh, in this room of 120 people, there were maybe 9 women, maybe 8 or 9 of us in the room. But very few of us in that room. And between being a lawyer and doing real estate full time, I was actually a coach, an abundance coach for women. So I was actually already working with women around money. And this idea, it's like, who do I want to work with? I was like, I want to work with women. That's already what I'm doing, what I love. And I'm helping women with money. And this, I believe real estate is the best way to build wealth in this country. It's the best way to build wealth, I think, anywhere. And it came as this download, like, put the real estate, bring like build this, get more of these women in the room because they're not here. And so that it was this felt like a divine download to create Real Estate Investor Goddesses. The name came, the mission to help women create financial freedom came, not the how. The how did not come then. I'm still figuring it out, but little by little. But the book idea came, and just like it came to like share this with women. And then I went home and I started looking. It's like, well, who else is doing this? And I wasn't seeing anything. So I thought, okay, well, there's definitely this need, and this is who I've been working with and who I'm excited to work with. And so I started to build this platform, and that was probably I really started doing it more later in 2016, 2016, and then we launched in late 2017, and that's, yeah, now it's 2020.
That's great. So, who do you think your audience is? And, is it all women? Is it active investors, passive investors? Is it certain kind of women? Like, this is interesting because I want you to talk about more how you selected your audience, kind of the process why you thought it was a particular segment of society, not all of humanity.
Right. So, and in terms of the who, like which women, it's becoming form, because it really was like, I just want to talk to women, and it's really been very broad. All, and I bring in all of these different other females to come and speak. So Real Estate Investor Goddesses is a plural name. It's not I'm the real estate investor goddess. It's like we're all we all have at least a bit of the divines. We're all goddesses. We're all into real estate. So I wanted it to be, I wanted to bring in different women from different asset classes and different ways of playing in this game. So I share foundational principles about real estate investing, and then it's kind of more of a choose your own adventure story in terms of how you go about it. I have attracted a lot of women that are interested in passive investing, as well as women that are interested in syndication, partly because maybe that's more what I do and what I can offer to people. And I'm also really speaking to busy professional women more than anything. So that's who I've been attracting more of. But I do have women in my community that have come in, but now they're learning tax liens or notes, or some are more focused on different areas of creating passive income streams. But generally, it's mostly people who are wanting to syndicate or be passive investors.
Yeah, that's great, and it sounds like you're getting some clarity around that, and the clearer you are with the audience, the more specifically you can speak to them, and
Yeah.
that's super valuable. Now, what role has this platform been in helping you raise money? Because you raise a lot of money, and so people are going to go, "Well, Monick, how did you do that?"
Yeah. So it did. So every time I talk and I'm spreading the word of this mission, people come and they go to my website, and there's this investor club where they can come and they can get on my list and find out about opportunities. So I've had this list like growing really fast, and then we're mostly fundraisers. We partner, we vet deals, we partner with people who have great projects that we feel passionate about, and then we're kind of bringing our investors to these deals. So because we're able to, because we're not on the operation side, we can do a lot more deals, I think, than if we were doing both sides of the equation. But having that platform has really attracted a lot of women. So when we first started, we probably were 90% of our investors were men, and 10% women. And now it's probably 95% are women, and then 5 to 10% are men. But there are a lot of women that are there, and they haven't, a lot of them had never heard about these types of opportunities before. They didn't know that was accessible to them. So they're super excited to be able to find out about them and to invest in them. And so it's been pretty easy to raise money.
Yeah, so talk about your process. How do you attract the quote right kind of female investor? How do you attract them? And then how do you engage them, and how do you finally get them to invest? Like, describe that whole process.
Yeah. So it's a lot of it is attraction marketing more than going after them, right? So it's like, this is there, this is available, to share what I do, or I might talk about it even indirectly, and they go on the website and they'll find out about it, and then they'll apply to join the investor club, or they'll fill out the questionnaire. So how do I get the word out? I do a lot of podcast guesting. I have my own podcast. Um, I, as you mentioned, I have a book. I don't talk about just that much in the book, but I do have a book, so people get my book and then they go on the website and find me. Um, a lot of people, I do Facebook ads to my freebies and my training programs, not to my investor club, but they, again, when they get on the website, they tend to find it. So that's been the main way of attracting people. And then I provide value to my list. So I send these weekly emails. I do webinars. I have a really engaged private Facebook group. So I'm just trying to add value as much as possible all the time. And I think that also a lot of my investors, they just feel my heart to help and serve in my mission. And that's what attracts them as well. Male and female, because I do have men that are attracted as well that come in. But I'm speaking more to women, and they're heeding the call.
Yeah, that's great. So you've really built something, but it didn't happen overnight. You've been doing this for a little
No.
while. Talk to people because they're listening to all this stuff, and you can go on about creating a podcast, a YouTube channel, and writing a book, and la la la. And people are like, oh, right, yeah, not. I don't
Yeah,
think
it did
so.
not happen all at once.
And it didn't happen all. So how did it work for you over what time period, and what did you do first? What did you do second? And maybe at the same time, how would you do things differently? But kind of build out the sequence of events for us.
Right. So what did I do first? The first thing I did actually was create a Facebook group, and start to get people into that. And then I started, I'm trying to think, that my podcast began before my podcast began before the book. And then I just I was podcasting and interviewing people. And then the book came out, I think, 2 years ago in July, my Real Estate Investor Guy's Handbook. And that got some attention, and it was a slow building. And then it was actually doing Facebook ads and having events that really started to make it move a lot faster. So I started doing Facebook ads actually to do for my events. And that, I literally went from 500 people in my emails to, within a year, I was at 10,000.
That's great.
Yeah. So.
And what did you drive the
quickly.
Facebook traffic to?
So again, so I have the two businesses, right? On the one hand, there's the education business, and then there's the investment business. So they're related, but they're different. They're separate, right? And so mostly the Facebook traffic goes to my education business. So it goes to educate people. So it goes to my webinars, or it was driving people to events, or to my freebie on my website. So that's what the traffic was going to. I was building my list, my email list, and then people would go from my email list, and then some would get onto the investor list.
Yeah, love that. So the biggest mistakes I see people making, Monique, and I don't know if you did this early on or what, is not to have a freebie. In other words, there's no way for you to capture anyone on your email list. What is your freebie, and why did you decide to put that particular one out there?
So it's Real Estate Success Blueprint, and it is so when you go on my website, it's right there. And that one, I wrote it. It's basically the formula that I teach in terms of the foundational principles of real estate investing. And it's been very popular. It converts really well. So that's that's why. And then when they get it, then they have a series of emails from me, even providing even more value, and letting them know who I am. And then then they're a part of my list. But that, why did I do that one in particular? I am, I'm a writer, so I write, and it just made the most sense to do that as a writer versus some of the other freebies. It could be like a quiz or something else. So it's a guide that breaks it down.
Yeah, yeah. Most syndicators' websites either have nothing on their website or they have a form that says "sign up for my newsletter." Like the whole thing about a freebie download is completely foreign to them, and it baffles me. So
Yeah.
you figure that out, which is key because now why do you? I mean, a lot of people say, well, I'm already in Facebook or I do Instagram or I do whatever LinkedIn. Why do you feel like it's so important to capture email
Yeah, because the emails are the only thing you can control, right? So the versus, um, if they're on Facebook and Facebook just decides to shut down your group or it goes out of business or who knows what happens, like there went all the community that you've built. Same with LinkedIn or Instagram. Like you ultimately, while they're there, you can communicate with them, and they're very valuable tools. Social media. I have a social media manager who mostly does my social media for me. I don't know if I should admit that it's not me doing it because I don't have time, but I review it. But yes, so those are valuable, but ultimately the email I think is where the most value is. You can, people would say, "Oh, email is dead," but I don't think it is. I think um, it's like the most valuable piece of connection with somebody you can have, other than their phone number. But it's a lot easier to email other people at once than
so
phone them like
So,
that.
capturing emails is, is,
Yeah.
is key. And the interesting thing you said about Facebook advertising really changed things around. Two things. One, it can be very technical. So the question is, did you outsource it? And then give us an
Yes.
idea roughly of what the investment should be. So everyone listens to this and goes, I want to go from 100 to 10,000. And they're thinking in their mind it might cost $100 to get there. Give us an idea of what's
No.
involved when you get into paid traffic like that.
Yeah, I've been investing probably about $3,000 to $5,000 a month between like paying the person, paying my ads manager and the ads. So, and I also have other things to offer, right? So that was going towards my courses and my events and things. So it was paying off, but it was a serious investment. Um, to get people in.
And how did you justify that? So as syndicators listening to this, they're like, "Oh my gosh, that's a lot of money." I don't have like, I can't see justifying that level of investment. How did you justify that to yourself and also to others listening and watching this?
Right. Well, look, I wouldn't necessarily do it to send people to a just like a plain, like your typical syndicator's website, right? Like you need to like drive it to something where you're going to be able to give them value and receive an email or something else. So the way I could justify it is, so like I said, I have an education program, and my foundation level program is $4,000. So I make one sale and pretty much it covered my costs of acquisition, right? And then anything above that is bonus. So that's how I could justify it, because I have these different offerings. But then when you're thinking about, and that's just like at the lower end, but when you think about, okay, I'm looking for investors we're going to be investing at $50,000 minimum level, right? Then the numbers, and what does that translate to you? The numbers can get actually much bigger. So you just want to think about, what am I putting in to get back? So if you have opportunities and you're going to be able to raise millions of dollars, then what you can invest a few thousand a month in order to be able to do that.
Do you have some simple math for us? I mean, basically for every single investor investing blah, can you calculate what the value is of that? In other words, what is the quote revenue coming in for that? Where you can
Yeah,
justify why investment in anything, marketing, Facebook ads, for example.
right. I mean, I'm not the numbers person in my business. I'm sorry, but
I
so
I do have a
I get it. I'm
spreadsheet.
okay.
I have a thing on this actually, but I'll put it in the show notes. But the point is, there's money coming in when you bring in an investor. There's money coming in.
And it's like it is. It's not just one transaction, right? So there's the customer will be in there, and they will. So I have, and I have different levels. So some people might just come to an event and then that's it, and I don't see them, or they'll come to an event, they're they invest in my program, or they'll come to then they'll invest in the program, and then they will do a real estate investment deal with me, and then that's working well, so they do another one with me, and then they do another one with me. So you have like these repeat investors. So it's not just like that one initial initial transaction that they do with you. So I'm really about relation. It's one of the things I've learned from um, Robert Helms and Russell Gray's, like relationships for life. So I want to really really nurture all of my goddesses, and we're creating this sisterhood, and I'm I'm I really want to like take such good care of them that this is like not a one time thing. It's not a one transaction. It's like it's going to be many, hopefully many deals that we do together in the future. So when you're looking at the lifetime value of an acquisition, it's that's what you should look at. What's the lifetime value of each person that comes onto your list?
That's a good point. So if you acquire a new investor using whatever paid Facebook traffic, or you're investing, that person will invest
Yeah,
over and over and over again. You don't have to spend extra money to acquire them, and
yeah.
that's a. So in other words, there can be a return on investment model that you can calculate that. But I mean, would you recommend, to what degree would you recommend that syndicators invest in their marketing?
100% recommend it, but like be thoughtful about it. So a lot of and figure out like, what works best for you, and maybe even just limit it to one or two things that you're doing. Like nail that down, hire people that are experts at it. Like you can.
Right.
So some things that I've learned from a mentor, it's like work with the best. They won't cost you money, they'll make you money. And so the investment that I made in the ad manager I had, it paid. She was more than paying off for herself, in terms of the ROI. So if you can invest in somebody who really knows what they're doing, and and like pick one or two paths that you're going to be on, whatever you're most comfortable and familiar with, then that will pay off. So a lot of people try to do everything at once, and doing, and I do have a lot of different streams going on right now, but I didn't start that way, and there's still certain ones that I focus on, and then the other ones are just like we'll just post it there since it's already been created. But I put my intention mostly on Facebook and Instagram at this point. um, and some people, LinkedIn could be a really good one to focus on, at the for what we're doing for syndication. um, but yeah, just like pick something, focus on it. I would recommend hiring somebody who's really good and knows what they're doing to save you time and and make you more money, and that's what I would do.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can see you're definitely serving your audience. You're educating them constantly, and we're in uncharted territory in a lot of different ways. Stock market's going on, coronavirus is going on. We're recording this sometime in March. By the time it airs, a few weeks have gone by, and who knows what will happen in a few weeks. But
Oh my gosh.
how do
Yeah.
how do you advise your audience, your investors, your students, and how to kind of survive the storm and how to navigate all this stuff? Like, what are some of your thoughts?
Yeah, so right now is a great time. So yeah, as when we're recording this, places are shutting down all over the country. Kids are out of school. Here in LA, they've shut down restaurants, gyms, pretty much everything. Um, so this is a good time to sharpen your saw. This is a good time to educate yourself. This is a good time to start to learn those skills that you need to learn. Um, so that you can spot opportunities when things open up again, because there will be a lot of opportunities. So this is a time when most people will be running scared. They'll be running for the hills. They'll be panicked. They make bad decisions at times like this, most people, because they're making them from fear and I don't know what they're doing. But there are people, because it's very likely we're heading into a recession. But then there are other people who know how to spot opportunities to end up doing super well in these times. So this is a time of greatest opportunity if you're ready for it. And so like get educated, sharpen your saw so that as when things open, you can jump.
Yeah, I love it. This is a great time to sharpen your saw. We're at home. We can't go into the office. People are discovering virtual working. My goodness gracious. You have lots of extra time. You're not commuting anymore. And really what you're telling people is maybe don't use that time watching, Netflix, but maybe, pick up a book, buy a course, really think about what is next for you. This is a great time to think and really get clarity for what you want. So that's good advice in tumultuous times. Monick, how can people connect with you?
Go to reigoddesses.com. That's probably the best way, but you can also find me at REI Goddesses on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. So, but the website is one of the best place to head to.
Website, and then the book on Amazon is the Real Estate Investor Goddess Handbook, so you guys check that out as well. Monick, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me, Michael. It was really fun.
There are really 4 roles in a syndication business, okay? They are typically deal finding, capital raising, operations, and marketing. And they're all 4 vitally important. Now, some are less important than others in the very, very beginning, but they become very important very quickly. Obviously, operations is irrelevant if you don't have a first deal yet. Scaling your capital raising isn't really that important if you haven't raised a little bit of money before, or at least you don't want to scale. But there's really all 4 of them. So what we're seeing joint ventures with 2 to 4 different parties because of that. And it's very rare that you find one person that can do all 4 or loves to do all 4, has the time to do all 4. Now, typically in a marketing world, if you look at all the big syndication marketers, they outsource their marketing to a large degree, except for you can't outsource the management of the marketing company that handles it, and you shouldn't outsource the content production. Now, one of the major mistakes I see syndicators make is let's say they get super, lucky to get on someone else's podcast, which is a giant achievement, and they have a great podcast, and the host asks them, hey, how can people find out about you? And they say, well, I'm at xyz.com. Well, that's great. Why would I want to go to that person's website? I just listen to you, and I will forget I will forget your website unless there's a compelling reason to go to that website, which there isn't. But let's say I go to that website, there's no way for the website to capture my visit. And in very rare instances, is there a small form that says, enter your email here to join my newsletter. Who wants to join another newsletter? So what I'm saying is the platform has not been built out. People are going out to promoting themselves without actually having a platform in place. What is a platform? Okay, a platform, number one, has a compelling reason for someone to go to your website, such as how to retire early so you don't burn out in your job, for example. Well, I want to know how to do that. I don't want to burn out. I want to retire early, so I'm going to go to your website to get that free download, and I'm going to give you my email address. That's a fair price to pay. So now you have my email address. Now what happens? Okay, now you need to engage that person. You need to serve that person. You need to educate that person about investing in multifamily. What are the risks? What are the rewards? What's the process like? And then once you build a trust with them, now you can lead them down a certain path, which is, hey, why don't you invest in one of my deals? Because you know what? It's actually better than the stock market right now. Why don't you invest in a deal? So you're leading them down a certain path. And there's ways that you can do that in a way that you can automate this process. So this is the core platform for syndicators. And in fact, right now we're teaching this very process. We actually started a new workshop. It's a 2-month workshop called the Platform Builder Workshop, and it's open right now. So if you're interested in what I described, go to themichaelblank.com/platform. And if you're on the live training for that, that's great. If not, it's going to be pre-recorded. And if you get to it in the month of May, then the workshop will actually be open. If not, you can get on the waiting list if you're watching this later on. We're going to do this about 3 or 4 times a year. I'm just super excited about that because it helps all of us scale our capital raising business. I conservatively think that you can raise your capital business by 10x in 12 to 18 months if you have a platform built. So if you raise, say, $500,000 this time next year, you're going to be raising $5 million. If that sounds interesting to you, then head on over to themichaelblank.com/platform. The platform building piece is going to be a permanent part of our education right now because we need all 4 of those parts. The deal finding, capital raising, operations, and also the platform building aspect. So head on over to michaelblank.com/platform and become one of the platform builders. Anyway, so hope you found that useful today. And you guys take care. Catch you next time. Hey, and before you leave, make sure you subscribe to my channel below. We put out videos every single week, and you don't want to miss it. Also, if you haven't done so already, grab my free ebook here, okay? It's a secret to raising money to buy your first apartment building deal. It's a good one, so grab that. And hey, check out another video.